Episode 19. Earth sprites had been observing the events between Māāsutasoma and the man-eater all along. They were amazed by how King Māāsutasoma had managed to persuade the man-eater to stop eating human flesh and even to establish him in the 5 precepts. Their rejoicing was audible throughout the forest with the words, "No other from the lowest hell to the highest heaven could stop the man-eater from eating human flesh. King Māāsutasoma has achieved what was previously impossible to do." The angels of the first level of heaven overheard the resounding praises, and learning the reason also took up the praises so loudly that the angels of yet higher levels of heaven took up the praises too, all the way to the highest heaven and to the Brahma worlds, praising Māāsutasomā's victory over the man-eater. Even the tree sprites living on the top of the banyan tree, where the 101 kings were held captive, heard the praises and repeated them so loudly that even the captured kings could hear the tumultuous sound. Although they couldn't see where the sound was coming from, they too felt hopeful that rescue was on the way. They praised King Māāsutasoma and renewed their hope to live. Now the man-eater had granted all Māāsutasomā's requests and received 5 precepts from him. He went and stood at a distance, not knowing what to do next. King Māāsutasoma approached him and told him, "My friend, it is time for you to go and release those kings now." The man-eater thought, "I have treated those kings inhumanely. If I release them, they will want revenge and have me killed for sure." So he appealed to Māāsutasoma. "You were previously my friend and teacher, and I have followed all your advice, so kindly join me in going to release the kings." It also occurred to Māāsutasoma that once released, the kings might want vengeance on the man-eater out of angry pride. However, since the man-eater was established in the 5 precepts, he would be unable to defend himself. Māāsutasoma thought, "I should inform the kings about the man-eater keeping 5 precepts before they're released, and have them promise that they're not going to mistreat the man-eater out of anger." Going to the kings, who were still strung up in the tree, he reassured them, "Fear not, all of you are now safe from the man-eater. However, you must promise that you will not harm him or be angry when he releases you." All of the kings gave their word in spite of the suffering that they had received at the hands of the man-eater. King Māāsutasoma continued, "Just as a parent helps and wishes well of their children, the man-eater wishes you all well. All of you should treat the man-eater as if you were his son." The kings promised this too. Next, King Māāsutasoma had the man-eater cut the rope that threaded the hands of the kings together. As the man-eater cut through each of the ropes, Māāsutasoma laid each king gently on the ground with the same kindness as a parent for a child. The kings were so weak from lack of nourishment that they were unable to do anything to help themselves. The wounds from being strung up by their hands was festering, so Māāsutasoma cleaned up the wounds. He had the man-eater prepare antiseptic from medicinal bark, using the concoction to cover each of the king's wounds. As he applied the medicine, he made the wish that the kings be healed, and indeed the medicine healed their wounds instantly. The man-eater made a nourishing gruel and hand-fed it to the kings for 3 days. After this time, the kings regained their health, and their wounds became completely healed. Seeing that they were ready for the journey, King Māāsutasoma invited the kings to return to their respective kingdoms. They agreed and decided to make the return journey together. Realizing the kings would soon be gone, the man-eater fell at Māāsutasomā's feet, and with a trembling voice informed him, "Please take these kings home. As for me, I will stay on here in the forest and subsist here on fruits and roots from now on."